Danny Koker's admirers assumed he had retired from acting following the conclusion of Counting Cars. The cost to him was $2. His marriage was in disarray. He had lost 35 pounds from stress, and they were suing him for $7 million. Contrarily, the Count stunned everyone in 2024. In the time since he started his new company, his annual revenue has quadrupled from $15 million in his previous program. However, automobiles were not the subject of the genuine shock. Danny Koker's untold tale of re-establishing his business and the reasons why some fans claim he's difficult to recognize will be discussed today. His birthplace was Cleveland, Ohio, and the date was January 5, 1964. Automobiles piqued the interest of his entire family. Danny Koker Sr.'s position as an executive at Ford meant that motorbikes and cars played a significant role in Danny's life from an early age. His extended family, which included several uncles and cousins, was heavily involved in the automotive industry. But there was more to his family tree than meets the eye. His dad had interests beyond automobiles. Musically, he was also quite accomplished. The Cathedral Quartet was a famous Southern gospel group, and he was a pianist and singer for them. Danny was unpredictably affected by this combination of music and cars. Even at the tender age of 11, he was performing at Carnegie Hall. At the age of 8, Danny received a motorcycle from his father. Aside from being a token of appreciation, it also signified the beginning of a significant undertaking. Before reassembling it, Danny dismantled it piece by piece rather than riding it. It was then that he had an epiphany about how much he relished discovering hidden mechanisms. Following that, he devoted himself entirely to disassembling vehicles, repairing them and improving them. He taught himself everything he needed to know while working on auto projects with his dad when he was just a little boy. Danny gained a wealth of knowledge from the blueprints and auto components that his dad had brought back from Ford. He lacked formal education, but made up for it with sheer determination and a ton of experience. At the age of 16, he started working on ways to increase engine speed and better automobile cooling systems. His 1979 Camaro Z28 was his first vehicle and a major undertaking. Danny wasn't your average teen. He wouldn't have gotten out of the car by himself. He transformed it into a street-legal race car. Huge obstacles stood in his way, but he managed to overcome them. He had already proven to everyone that he could manage challenging tasks without formal education in them by the time he was 18 years old. From this point forward, things became even more intriguing. Danny began an endeavor he had never undertaken previously in 1,990 days. He took a job hosting a late-night horror movie program called Saturday Fright at the Movies. On Saturdays, he would introduce cheesy horror films while playing the role of Count Cool Rider. Spectators in Sin City waited. He brought his own brand of humor to the performance while cloaked as a vampire and sporting a pair of shades. His persona shared Danny's love of vintage automobiles, motorcycles, and Elvis. Since his grandparents were from Yugoslavia, he even began to joke with an accent. In addition to the movies, Danny's passion for music and cars added an extra layer of entertainment to the show. Many were enamored with it. His character's moniker, the Count, remained after the show ended in 2001. That wasn't the end of Danny. In 1998, he opened a modest shop in Las Vegas named Count's Customs, transforming his passion for cars into a business. The shop's specialty was motorcycle customization, and the name was derived from his TV character. Danny was unique in his approach. In addition to fixing them, he transformed motorcycles and automobiles into works of art. He started out by restoring a 1932 Ford Roadster. As soon as they laid eyes on the Count's Customs, everyone could tell they were special. Word got out about Count's Customs fast, and soon enough, business picked up. Due to his overwhelming workload, Danny had to relocate to a larger space in 2002. From bikes, he transitioned to vintage automobiles, and eventually he began customizing parts for individual vehicles. In 2004, Danny's life took a dramatic turn when he received a call from Ozzy Osbourne. According to Ozzy's request, Danny built him a one-of-a-kind motorcycle. The bike was stunning with glistening paint and details inspired by bats. As a result, Count Customs became a household name across the nation. The store continued to expand as time went on. It had evolved into more than just a store. Danny turned it into a legitimate business by 2010. In addition to his tattoo parlor and rock club, Count's Vamped, he began selling merchandise. Danny's curiosity had blossomed into something far more substantial than he had anticipated. More than 50 people now fill Count's Customs' 300 square foot workshop thanks to the company's rapid expansion. Danny Koker's quick ascent to stardom began on July 19, 2009. He made his Pawn Stars debut inspecting a fastback Mustang GT from 1968. He owned Count Customs and was already famous in Sin City. Rick Harrison, owner of Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, was looking for an expert in classic automobiles. The crowd adored Danny because his charisma and talent shone through immediately. He became a fan favorite after appearing in 23 episodes of Pawn Stars over the course of 3 years. There was an almost disastrous outcome to the Count's next appearance when he was hosting a local horror movie show. An argument ensued between him and Rick regarding the value of a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. Danny stormed off set as the altercation escalated, prompting the directors to intervene. Rick later called Danny to assure him that he would have greater control during his time on the show. Their on-screen chemistry became one of the show's most enjoyable aspects very fast. In June 2011, the concept for Counting Cars was born. Danny was involved in the purchase and sale of a rare 1970 Plymouth Superbird when Left Field Pictures producer Brent Montgomery spotted him while filming Pawn Stars at Count's Customs. Danny's eager offer of $75,000 demonstrated his passion for automobiles. This, in Montgomery's opinion, would be perfect for a television series. August 13, 2012 was the premiere date of Counting Cars on the History Channel. Danny and his crew were featured on the show as they acquired, restored, and resold vintage automobiles and motorcycles. The meticulous documentation of every step, from Danny's search for the car to its eventual restoration, made it stand out. In the pilot, Danny had assessed a 1968 Mustang Fastback on Pawn Stars, and in the subsequent restoration of the same vehicle brought the story full circle. The History Channel was viewed by 3 individuals, 1,000,000 viewers, which is significantly higher than their typical audience size. Additional episodes were immediately ordered due to the show's immediate popularity. Once again, shooting commenced within 2 weeks. Man, you're everywhere. It is my duty to uncover hidden treasures. I often peek into people's garage doors and dig in their backyards. One of the History Channel's most popular shows, the show rose to prominence in no time. At season's end, that figure had risen to 2 in each. Each show is watched by 9 million people. On occasion, it even outperformed Pawn Stars. Through its translation into 38 languages, Counting Cars reached 150 countries by 2014. With 1.5 million viewers per show, Germany topped the charts for most viewers. However, Counting Cars had unanticipated consequences. Classic cars were 37% more likely to be stolen in 2015 compared to 2014, according to Las Vegas police. The police believed that the show incited criminals to target the featured cars. Danny had to issue a warning to motorists, urging them to exercise extreme caution. The eccentric appearance of Danny, long hair, a beard, and all-black clothing with skull patterns, also contributed to the show's success. He loved rock music, and his style was more than just TV. Another aspect of his peculiar personality was on display with his band Count 77. Many were impressed by Danny's ability to blend his two passions, music and cars. Not only was he an influential figure in the automotive industry, but he was also known as the Count. The success that Danny Koker achieved was largely due to his business acumen and driving abilities. The majority of viewers, according to a 2016 survey, tuned in because they liked Danny's antics. Additionally, Danny possessed a number of amusing peculiarities. A leather jacket he'd owned since 1989, he reasoned, would entitle him to better car deals. With over $10,000 stitched into a pocket, he could buy things on the spot, and he never washed it. Danny performed a single act that demonstrated the size of his heart on November 5, 2013. He restored a 1981 Corvette that had belonged to a deceased Vietnam veteran. Danny was overcome with emotion and broke down in tears during the unveiling of the car to the veteran's widow. This episode broke all previous viewership records with 4.3 million viewers. Danny Koker must put in a lot of time, think outside the box, and devote himself fully if he wants to achieve his goals. His company, Count's Customs, expanded rapidly due to the success of his television show, Counting Cars. By 2018, the company had outgrown its humble beginnings in a 7,000 square foot space and had moved into a massive 400 square foot facility. Danny could now take on more challenging and fascinating projects thanks to this addition. A significant increase from the few that had been completed prior to the show. His team of over 50 skilled workers would have completed 75 custom builds annually by 2020. Customers were willing to wait as long as 18 months for his one-of-a-kind designs, and his work was highly priced. After only selling $500,000 in its inaugural year, the store's revenue skyrocketed to over $15 million by 2019. Danny also began selling Count's Customs branded apparel and accessories, which increased annual revenue by $3 million by 2021. That wasn't the end of Danny. In 2017, he started selling a collection of rare auto parts for restoration projects. These components accounted for 20% of the store's revenue by 2022. His business became even more prominent in the field when he instituted training programs and classes for individuals interested in learning auto restoration. Because of his talent, famous people would come to Danny to have his unique style applied to their vehicles. Ozzy Osbourne commissioned him to custom make a motorcycle for him in 2016. It took 6 months to complete and cost over $150,000. Thanks to its hand-painted bat wings and powerful 124 cubic inch engine, the motorcycle was a true work of art. Basketball great LeBron James requested the restoration of a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air in 2018. 8 months were required to complete the interior design in the colors of the Lakers, purple and gold. Additionally, it featured an ultra-modern audio system. The car was worth over $500,000 and received extensive coverage in automotive publications. Danny co-coordinated a major 2020 project for the Mob Museum in Las Vegas. He restored 5 vintage Cadillacs, which were popular among mobster vehicles in the 60s and 70s due to their bulletproof glass and hidden chambers. Both of them. A TV special was even made of the $5 million project, which garnered a great deal of media attention.